Kamala Harris is literally the stupidest person on the planet. It's incredible. And I saw this clip from her, which just was astonishing to me. This is something that Democrats, and specifically Democratic women, left-wing women, love to make things up that never happened in order to get sympathy. Democrats in general do it, but Democratic women are notoriously bad for making things up that never happened. And listen to this right here. I was astonished.
You know, one of my favorite things to see, and it would always happen spontaneously at our rallies, and thousands of people would come. And there, it would happen, is invariably somebody would want me to take a picture or to hug their child. And someone in the back would hand that baby over through the crowd
up to you,
people who would
bless the baby,
but pass the baby.
See,
and then pass the baby back.
Pass the baby back.
And I don't know, there was something about that when it would happen. I mean, I could get very emotional about it right now, but you know, I believe that we should always feel that, you know, the children of the community are the children of the community.
Yeah.
I am here to declare something, ladies and gentlemen, okay? I just want all of you in the chat to know that I believe personally that the chat in the YouTube stream is the chat of the YouTube stream. I might be the first person that has ever thought about declaring that the chat on the YouTube stream is the chat on the YouTube stream. You're welcome. You're welcome.
I mean, I could get very emotional about it right now, but you know, I believe that we should always feel that, you know, the children of the community are the children of the community.
Yeah.
What does that mean? What does that mean? Holy shit. I've already heard it like 5 times and it just gets worse every single time. Good Lord.
Yeah.
Of all of us, that
our next leaders, our next thinkers,
and that we all participate in caring about that child.
Yeah.
And in caring for that child.
Yeah.
And there was just something about that.
And seeing the baby travel from the parent.
Yes, and the parent trusted the stranger that was next to them, who trusted the next person, and all of them as though it was their own child.
Yeah.
So let me summarize what they're saying. So they're essentially talking about a group of people in a community that trust each other. So to summarize that, she's talking about a white community. Just so we're clear.
There's something so magical in many ways about that, and about affirming, about you can create an environment where people feel safe and feel a sense of communal responsibility and community.
Yeah.
You know, many of us had the blessing of growing up where, you know, the neighbors were watching out for all the kids.
Right. It was a neighborhood. Your neighborhood was the community.
Right.
Well, again, and for anyone who might be confused, what type of neighborhood do you think Kamala Harris lives in? What type of community do you think that Discount Simon Phoenix lives in? Where's Discount? Yeah, Discount Simon Phoenix. Where do you think Dollar General Simon Phoenix lives? Where do you think the founders of Black Lives Matter lived when they made their millions?
Many of us had the blessing of growing up where, you know, the neighbors were watching out for all the kids.
Right. It was a neighborhood. Your neighborhood was the community.
Right.
Was the tribe.
There's so much about where we are right now that has caused people to feel alone, or to feel outside, or to feel like they don't belong. And this was just the opposite of that. And I hold on to that. I talk about that kind of thing in the book, and I hope that there is something about what I've written and shared that reminds people about how we all felt, because we're still those same people.
That part.
I just can't believe how I can't believe how stupid she is. It is incredible to witness this. I said this the other day. At first I was thinking how cringe it was going to be to listen to her, and then I realized how much gold we're going to get from her talking. And that's exactly what we continue to get, because she isn't stopping. Here she is right here again, drunk as hell, making up lies.
Closest election for president of the United States in the 21st century.
Wow. I know that's right. The Howard grad did that here.
Howard grad.
Now, the reason is I saw this interview, and I haven't seen this. I just saw the headline. The headline with JD Vance is, "I get dumber listening to Kamala Harris." 48 has been on fire lately, okay? 48 has been on a fire. Here we go.
All right, in part two of my exclusive sit down with Vice President JD Vance, we talked about the growing appeal of socialism, very disturbing, and Kamala's new blame game. Kamala Harris has a new book out. I know it's dog-eared on your nightstand, called 107 Days.
Real page turner.
That's the length of her campaign. She called you in it a juvenile and a shapeshifter, and even almost called you a bad word, but she didn't write the whole thing out. Anyway, she is now blaming the campaign, her loss, for the fact that it was short. That's one of the main things she cites. She had more time, could have gotten more traction. Your reaction to that?
My reaction is, if you look at the polling, both the public and the private polling, the problem is not that Kamala's campaign was too short, it's that it was too long. That when people actually listened to what she had to say, her polling went down and down and down. I think that if we had a 150-day campaign, we probably would have had 3 additional Republican senators, and Donald Trump would have won by an even bigger landslide, because the more people know about Kamala Harris, the more they realize there's no substance there. I mean, agree or disagree with Barack Obama or Bill Clinton, they actually had substance. They could actually articulate a viewpoint. I listened to Kamala Harris for 90 seconds, and I actually feel like I've gotten dumber in the process, and I have no idea what she actually believes. That's the problem.
This man has to be number 48. He has to be.
Problem with Kamala Harris, and it's going to continue to be her problem unless she actually learns how to develop a viewpoint, articulate it for the American people. Just say what you actually believe. Don't do this word salad, talking around in circles. It doesn't work, and it's why she didn't win.
Mamdani's popularity is strong.
Yeah.
In New York. Socialist, communist, whatever you want to call him. But his big push is for, quote, affordability. And for young people, and I think this is something you touched on in Hillbilly Elegy,
Sure.
For people who feel like there's no hope, that no matter what they do, they can't really get ahead. They've tried, but they can barely make ends meet. That word affordability, and I'll give you free stuff, is very powerful.
Yes, it is.
What does that tell you about the future, especially if this economy, if this economy runs into snags? Does this message of Mamdani's get more attractive?
Well, first of all, we have to give the president a lot of credit here, because he inherited one of the worst inflation crises in American history. And we've had very stable inflation over the last 7 or 8 months, sort of 2 to 3%, right where economists typically say that you want it. But there's a lot of work to do because prices got so high under the Biden administration. I actually think most conservatives, the where I disagree with a lot of my friends on the right, we make a mistake in dismissing Mamdani as a socialist, as a communist. These things are all absolutely true. I don't care about that. What I care about is, why are young people so attracted to this message? And the reason,
Man, JD Vance is smart as hell. And the way that he thinks about these things is exactly what we need. He doesn't get emotional with it. He's like, we have to understand this. That is the perfect approach to this. Listen again. Listen to how he approaches this. Perfect.
So high under the Biden administration. I actually think most conservatives, the where I disagree with a lot of my friends on the right, we make a mistake in dismissing Mamdani as a socialist, as a communist. These things are all absolutely true. I don't care about that. What I care about is, why are young people so attracted to this message? And the reason is they feel like the American dream is unaffordable. If you're a 25-year-old kid who can't afford a home, if you're a 25-year-old kid whose wages don't allow you to take a nice vacation once a year, who don't allow you to actually enjoy your life, then you're going to be attracted to somebody who's promising free stuff. Do I agree with the solutions? No. But Laura, we just finished celebrating the life of Charlie Kirk just last week. He's a great guy, but Charlie was smarter about this than almost any conservative I've ever talked to, because he recognized that what we have to do is give young people a stake in the future. Housing is too expensive. Groceries are too expensive. Now, I would say they're too expensive because we inherited a disastrous Biden economy and we're making progress. It's only been 8 months, but we've made a lot of progress. But unless we give young people a stake in the future, we can't dismiss their concerns as socialism. They're going to choose socialism if given an option between free stuff and a bad life. We have to make sure they have an option between free stuff and a real life of dignity, of purpose. That's what the American conservative movement can provide to them. But we've got to do a better job at articulating it, or they're going to continue to be attracted to people like Mondami.
October.
I gotta steal a line from Patrick Bet David, but future looks bright with JD Vance. Future looks bright.
1st, if the White House and Congress doesn't agree for a plan to continue funding the government will shut down.
That's right.
The Democrat spin machine, full force all day long. It's going to be all week long, blaming the administration for not funding the government, saying Russ Vought is threatening mass firings are going to be permanent if the Democrats don't come to the table. To that, you said?
Well, he's threatening what? He's threatening to try to find a way to make the government function if the Democrats shut it down. We have to realize the Democrats, their whole argument is, we are going to shut down the government unless you give $1 trillion for medical benefits for illegal aliens. The major healthcare reform that we've done in this administration is we've made it harder to give your hard-earned tax dollars to medical benefits for illegal aliens. The Democrats want to undo that. And they're saying that unless you give that money to those illegal aliens, unless you give those benefits to those illegal aliens, we are going to shut down the people's government. It's such a stark contrast between two parties' priorities. We want to put the government to work for the American people first. The Democrats want to shut down the government because we won't give free benefits to illegal aliens. It's such a good, again, contrast for what the Democrats stand for and what Republicans stand for.
Yeah, I personally think that shutting the government down is totally fine with me. I'm not bothered by that at all. So whatever, who cares? I remember when this happened in the first Trump administration, so I don't care.
We're not going to be taken hostage by the Democrats' desperate desire to give your tax money to illegal aliens. We're just not going to do it.
Is it hard,
So we've
though?
put a bill out there. By the way, Laura, the bill that we've put out there that was passed by the Republican Congress is just a continuation of the current levels of government funding. By the way, Laura, I don't even like that. I think the government should be spending less money, but we recognize that we have to, because the Democrats control 47 seats in the Senate. We recognize we need 60 total votes. That means we have to get 7 Democrats, and that means we have to get something that the Democrats can actually vote for. If you can't get 7 Democrats to vote for a clean continuing resolution, if you can't get 7 Democrats who won't shut down the government because they're so concerned about not providing benefits to illegal aliens, then what are we supposed to do? Are we supposed to actually, bargain with effectively those who are trying to take the government hostage to give benefits to illegal aliens? We refuse to do it, Laura.
Love JD Vance. And on that point, so today, this account said, this is how MAGA responded after Bud Light had the audacity to feature a trans influencer in their ads. So spare us your bullshit about violent rhetoric from the left, JD Vance. JD Vance responded, I call upon all of our supporters to stop the violence against innocent beer cans. And I call upon the left-wing radicals to stop inciting violence against innocent people. What a response. What an incredible response. Holy crap, dude. Oh, man. That is an all-timer right there. I mean... You just can't come up with a better response. Absolutely fantastic. Love it.